everyone, and welcome to Friday's General Hospital Recap. As always, don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss any of our videos or recaps. And also, I put out a new video series on this channel, Farm Friday, if you want to go check that out too. That's why Friday's a little delayed, because I was like, I have to do this, but that won't happen. I'm better prepared this week, so let's get right to it. So at the Floating Rib, Julian meets Liv there. He wants assurance that once he gets her to the hospital, she's done with him. And she's like, yeah, sure, just, hold up your end of the deal. At General Hospital, Jason considers letting Ava take the fall, but he's not that kind of person. But, letting her sit in prison for a few days while they figure this out, that's just good karma, right? And him and Sam were going to a birthing class, but it was canceled. Well, they ask an employee what's happening. He says, well, Epiphany runs it. She called out sick. And they're like, oh, and he's like, well, you didn't hear it from me, but the nurses are kind of having a sick out. Michael calls Jason. There's a family meeting, and he needs backup. Sam's going to go to the Floating Rib, and he'll meet her there. And then the employee they asked the question to is bringing flowers somewhere. Also in the hospital, Finn thinks what he's seeing on Anna's chart is rare, and he wants more information before making a diagnosis. Nina sees a Valentine with Anna and is upset. She leaves. Anna wakes up and doesn't like the Valentine's there and wants him to leave. So then I had a thought. I just had a little bit of thought, because I'm thinking about how I can't get a read on Valentine, because he seems genuine in some instances, and his backstory, he has obviously a dark past, but then there's also some genuine moments, and, but then there's also the fact that he killed Nicholas, and there's all that. So I'm trying to, figure it out and put it together. So I had a thought. It probably, not, but, I just wanted to share it with you. What if Valentine knew Nicholas, they knew each other, they've had a prior relationship that we weren't privy to, and Valentine helped Nicholas fake his own death, and he's just another Cassadine kind of along the Nicholas line of kind of good Cassadines. What do you think of that? I might be totally off base, but it was just a thought I had. Anyway, Valentine leaves and sees Nina, and she's like, what are you doing with Anna? What's going on? And he shows her the follow-up text that he meant to send, and unfortunately it didn't go through. And he says, let's go to the Metro Court, and he'll explain everything. The employee with the flowers comes out of the elevator, and Valentine takes the flower, and the guy continues on. I don't know if there's any significance to it, but just they showed him, so I was like, I don't know, I feel like I should mention this. Finn and Griffin go into Anna's room. They go through her symptoms, migraines, slight itching, and he'd like to do a bone marrow biopsy, which never good. So she agrees, and when Finn leaves, he kind of has trouble holding himself up, and then he steals a patient's medicine. What is on my blanket? Oh, it's water. And Anna tells Griffin about breaking in and all that, how Valentine was the one who found her, how that all came to be. At the suite, Valentine says that he was looking forward to Valentine's Day with Nina, and he tells her the whole story, and Nina thinks he could have just called 911, and I'm like, really? It's on an island. You know how much, really? And he, and not brought her himself. And he thinks that he was being kind. Oh, and she also thinks that he was being so kind to someone who's been so cruel to him. And she tells him, I feel like she kind of internalizes everyone else's feelings about Valentine, almost like they're a personal attack against her, or that she's very defensive of him, even more than he's defensive of himself sometimes. Anyway, so she tells him, Anna says he's not so she tells him that Anna says that he's the one that's obsessed with her, and then she forgives him for all this mess, and she gives him the ring, or he gives her the ring. I can't do pronouns today, and she loves it. At Kiki's, because let's be real, it's pretty much Kiki's at this point, Kiki and Dylan are involved in the living room, and Franco comes in, and he's very involved in his own head and what's happening to him, and he says he got fired and just kind of goes away. Dylan gets a call, emergency family meeting, he has to go. So then Franco comes out, they talk, he talks about the sick out, the fact he was fired, and he doesn't want Elizabeth to know he was fired. And Kiki, first off, is happy to hear they're together and took the next step and all that. And he feels he let down Elizabeth, but it's not his fault he was fired. He didn't make the decision to cut the art therapy program. And Kiki says that he has to trust Elizabeth and just, be honest and be open and honest. It's not like you're going back on your spy thing. You honestly, you can't do it anymore. You were fired. At Elizabeth's place, there's Ugh, I can't talk. Sam drops off at Jake's science project, and Liz apologizes for the sick out affecting her because she says about the birthing class and all that. Sam understands, and she asks if she should be planning on having the baby somewhere else. And then Franco comes over. Oh, so Elizabeth is like, it should all be figured out by then. And then Franco comes over, Sam leaves, and he tells Elizabeth that he's ready to. He tells her that he was fired, and he's ready to fight for his job too. Oh no, she's ready to fight for his job too. I'm telling you, names and people, not happening today. And she's ready to make it work. They all make it work together. Aw. At the Quartermaines, Olivia's over for Valentine's Day, and she's hesitant to stay the night, and she feels like a visitor there. Tracy comes in because she's calling a family meeting and wants Olivia out, but Olivia doesn't get out. So the troops have assembled. Monica, Dylan, Michael, Jason, Ned, they're all there. Michael and Jason talk real fast about Ava before Tracy comes in and gets them. Tracy tells them about the condos, they know, obviously, and the situation is deteriorating, and she proposes that ELQ by the hospital. So Michael approves. Dylan's skeptical about what the shareholders will think because there wouldn't really be much in it for them. Like, it wouldn't make any money for them because all the money would go right back into the hospital, and they might divest, which would hurt ELQ in turn, and then the hospital would be exactly where it was. So then Olivia has an idea. The Quartermaines themselves could buy the hospital, and then it wouldn't involve ELQ. So Michael would use money he was going to use for the clinic because it would still be helping people, so that works. Dylan would liquidate some stuff. Jason's in too, but he has to leave, so he's like, whatever, just put me in. And Ned would sell his record company, and Olivia's like, no, you have that record company. And then Olivia offers in too, but they think they got it. And I'm like, oh, just let her, like, throw in a little bit, you know? I mean, she's a part owner of the Metro Court. I know she helps. Did she take over? She took over for Connie/Kate, right? I think, maybe. I don't know. I don't remember things. So at Drew Lexus's place, Alexis gets a delivery, flowers, a replica of her wedding bouquet from Julian, and it says that not a day goes by that he won't work his hardest to make her happy. And then she thinks about their wedding day, and I think about their wedding day. I really did like them as a couple, you know, before it all crashed and burned. So then he comes over, and he has an explanation for everything that's happened to her. He gives her a key to a safe deposit box, and in it is his will and a letter that explains everything. And obviously she's concerned because it's very concerning when someone talks like that. And she wants an explanation now. Back at the floating rib, Jason and Sam meet. A conversation quickly turns to the boss lady, and Jason leaves Sam alone for a second. She Googles Olivia Jerome, but the only picture of her is blurry. Okay, I Googled Olivia Jerome and got plenty of good pictures, so not buying it. I'm just kidding. And the Liv is staring at her because she's still at the floating rib. And now end scene. So the Quartermaines are prepping for their new, less wealthy lives. Ha ha ha. And Ned intends to make sure Olivia is always family, which I don't think is going to go over too well with her. Jason comes back to the table and Liv leaves. Julian wants to tell Alexis everything, but he can't, and he's scaring her. And he's doing this because he loves her. There's instructions at the bank when she can access the safe deposit box, and it's not until, like, he hasn't checked in for a few days, if you know what I mean. And then he leaves. Nina takes a shower, and Valentine immediately calls to check on Anna. Griffin leaves Anna, and he's worried. He calls Robin, and he leaves a message. And Anna, when she's by herself, she's really worried and terrified too. So Griffin tells Finn that he's glad Anna's in his care, and that she's secretly terrified. Like, she won't let anyone know, but she is terrified. And he says, you know what? You were right about not telling Anna that she might have cancer. And I'm like, no, Anna! Oh, she's been through so much. She's been through so much, but they're definitely setting up for some kind of reveal. I can feel it in my bones. Alright, so that is it for Friday's General Hospital recap. Today's will be up tonight. Unfortunately, I'm leaving in a few minutes, so I won't have it up normally, but it will be up tonight. I promise you that. So I will see you later today for more General Hospital, and I hope you have a great day. Bye.